Ashley.
And I work here at RCAL, the Resource Center for Accessible Living, and Ashley here lives in her own apartment, but she didn't always live in her own apartment. She used to live in a group home, and she is going to talk to us about her experience from what it's like to be a person with a disability, to living in a group home, and then to moving out independently into her own apartment. So Ashley, do you want to tell us your story? Maybe start with your disability, how that came to be, and what that was like for you.
All right. Hi, I'm Ashley. I have a traumatic brain injury, aka a TBI. And what that means is my brain got jumbled. So, with that being said, I have short-term memory loss. I used to suffer from seizures.
Wow.
And I used to have to take a lot of meds.
Okay. So you had a TBI as a result of a car accident when you were 14, correct?
Yes.
And then what was your recovery like? How did that land you from being kind of a teenager out every day to being in rehab, and then from there, what happened?
Okay. Well, my recovery started in the hospital, Albany Med.
Mm-hmm.
From Albany Med, they did tremendous work, and once they could no longer give me the care that I needed, I moved to Sunnyview Rehabilitation Center in Schenectady.
I have heard of that. Yes.
And once there, that's when I had to start my speech therapy, my physical therapy, and all of that, and occupational.
Mm-hmm.
And that there they would give me the schooling that I needed to try and get me to the next grade level.
Okay.
Didn't work, but it's okay.
So when you finished rehab, right? So you were in Sunnyview and you got as much as you could get from that. And you then moved where?
I went back to live with my uncle because my mom did pass away.
I'm sorry.
Not a big deal. But she did pass away, so I went to live with my uncle. And from there, my uncle did move me to a different school system, more fit for a traumatic brain injury like I had, aka a TBI. So, from Saugerties, I moved to Caro Durham.
Okay.
And Caro Durham did all they could do with me to get me to graduate.
So this is all while you're in school. And
yep.
So you finish up at this school in Caro Durham, and then what happens?
Then, my uncle, I live with my uncle, so he starts mistreating me because he thinks, oh, she's not in school anymore. They can't report me or anything. So, he put me in a group home.
All right. And where was the group home?
The group home was in Ellenville.
And when you say group home, this was a group home run through the Office for People with Developmental Disabilities, correct? And what was that like? How many staff were there? Or did you have your own room? Kind of talk to us a little bit about what it was like to live in the group home.
When I first got there, I was a little intimidated because they are all older folks.
Okay.
Now, when I say older, I'm saying 45 to 92.
Wow. So, and you're a young teenager, fresh out of high school. Okay. And so you're living with people who are not the same age as you.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have your own room?
Starting out, I did not.
Okay.
I roomed with a girl named Sally. Rest in peace, Sally. Once I was there, a room did become available, just a separate room.
Mm-hmm.
So I had asked if I could move to that room because I felt like I wasn't able to. I was a young girl. She was 80-something.
Okay.
She was a sweetheart. And I just felt that I needed my own space. So once I advocated for myself for that one, they did give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, she did pass away not too far after that. But I did remain in my own room.
Awesome. So you're living in the group home, you've been able to advocate for yourself to have your own room, but at some point, it sounds to me like you started thinking about how the group home was set up and what you wanted for yourself. So what in your mind changed things from when things were going great at the group home to now you're thinking next steps?
All right. So I think what really pushed me along was the passing of my ex-roommate Sally.
Yeah.
Sally was there her whole life. So I didn't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So after rekindling with my ex-flame or future flame, whichever,
Okay.
from high school, we rekindled and we eventually got to live on our own.
So you and your flame from high school have decided now, I want to live with him and not in the group home. I don't want to spend the rest of my life here in a group home, which is right for you. For some people, living in a group home is also right for them. But once you made that decision that you were ready to move out, who helped you in that process? How did you advocate for yourself?
I definitely told RCAL and all of the people who were advocating for me that, okay, this was the right step for that moment, but I need something different. I need to start myself. I need to start my life new. So that's when Brenda and Sharon and Caroline all stepped in and decided, oh, she definitely needs her own space. She's ready. So let's see if she can do it.
So how smooth was that process? Were there any bumps along the way? Were there any skills that you needed to learn in order to prepare to move out?
It was generally smooth. The only skill I needed to really learn was money management.
Oh, that's a big one. I'm still working on that myself.
Oh, yes. I'm still not 100%. And definitely just being on my own was definitely, because I've always grew up where I had such a big family and it was I'm always around people. So I definitely needed to work on me being alone.
Okay, which is important because a lot of people decide they want to move out but have never really been alone. So that's a really good way to put it. So you've advocated for yourself, you've brought people in who could support you, and now that you got your own apartment, what was it about your apartment that you love?
I believe one of the things I really loved about my apartment was that, one, I got to be with my flame, my boyfriend, and I had help with it because I would never be able to do it on my own.
So you moved out, you've got this apartment. What were some of the things that surprised you about living on your own? The good and the bad.
Well, the good, it was just that, oh, okay. I opened my eyes and I'm like, all right, I'm on my own. I got this. I can do this. And anyone can do this if they really put their mind to it. And another thing that surprised me that was bad was that, okay, I have to do this or I have to go back to the group home. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go back. Yeah. I didn't want to take a step back. I just want to step forward. Makes sense. I made sure that everything that I did was in the right direction.
So you had goals in place that you were working on that you knew helped keep you independent.
Yes.
And so is that something you would say is important to other people who may be in a similar situation?
I would say it is one of the important things.
What are some other important things?
Money management.
Okay.
The ability to hold a job.
Oh, okay. So having a job is really helpful if you're going to be living on your own?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only because, one, your coworkers are not only your coworkers, but sometimes they become family and friends.
True. So now that you're on your own, you've got to go out and make friends, and work is a great way to do that. So I love that suggestion. What else?
And it, once you have OPWDD or RCAL or wherever to help you along the way, to kind of put you in the right direction for like making doctor's appointments or
okay.
yeah, that was a main goal of mine. I didn't want to miss anything.
So having like some sort of involved person who's taking a case manager role, whether it's a care manager or if someone maybe has a care manager who's less involved, maybe having a close family or friend that can help them coordinate those things, or even Comhab services, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So you're here, you're in your apartment, but I'm sure that there are still some challenges. What would you say are some challenges that you're either facing now or you anticipate in the future?
Do you want to answer honestly?
Sure, you can answer honestly.
Honestly, I think it because I do not have my license. I think my next goal is to get my license.
I love
get
that.
a car.
Yeah.
Get more freedom in that aspect.
And you can roll that into your Comhab goals, correct?
Yep,
and they can
absolutely.
help you with it?
Yes.
Awesome. So if you were going to give advice to someone else who's maybe in this process, or maybe they're in a group home and they're thinking, hey, you know, living in my apartment might be something I want to do one day, what advice would you give someone?
I would say don't give up on your dreams, and don't give up, and definitely reach out to people to help you. Definitely. That's the biggest part.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Ashley.
Of course, thank you.
We will see you soon. Bye.